wonder why they're not working. That's too bad.
Yeah, I mean, 24 hours an hour, you know.
Are we ready for roll call?
Yes.
Oh, now we lost the clerk.
It's just my thought. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's an exciting meeting.
Trustees Darrenowski,
Aye.
Duberstein,
I'm protesting with a no.
Barrett,
Aye.
Daley,
Aye.
and Washington.
Aye.
11-6-149.
You can always do a road trip to Springfield, Georgia.
Don't put it to the Bible.
The next ordinance is one that actually Russ put together and had Jim look at. Due to a couple issues that came up in the village, we had a couple of pond requests. One was a koi pond of significant size, very scary. As soon as it went in, we had residents call right away about it, concerned with the size. So Russ, why don't you give us a little history and then...
all the times I've been here,
Does he have a microphone?
and all the time I've been here, we have never had requests for ponds. All of a sudden, I had 2 requests in the last month from people wanting to put ponds in the front yard. And I went, okay, can't do that, explain why. And the next thing we know, we had a phone call, the mayor got a phone call that the neighbor was complaining that the neighbor put in a pond. So I went to go investigate it. I figured I'm going to find this little pond, and I walk in the backyard and it's a pool.
12 by 13 foot.
At least 12 by 13 foot, 3 foot deep, about 1.5 foot, 2 feet from the house. I mean, it's just magnificent. But it's also very dangerous. So I red tagged it, got a phone call from the resident the next day, and he said it's just a pool, and he was going to build this pool. And I said, no, you can't build
Just a pond.
I mean,
Koi pond.
so if you wanted to do it that way, I said, no. I said, it's a body of water. I put this under the pools and spas. I said, you gotta have it fenced in with a 6-foot-high fence and latching gates. You gotta protect the public from getting at this thing. And he was arguing with me. So I said, just to cover ourselves, we're adding pool and ponds and water features to our ordinance now. So it's all going to be covered with the pools and the spas and the hot tubs. So anybody who wants to put in water features or water of any kind, it's all going to come under the same ordinance.
And this resident's biggest concern or fight, if you will, is he can have his pond. He did have to move the location, didn't he, Russ?
I said it's too close to the foundation. I
Right.
said it was only like 1.5 to 2 feet away from the house. I said it should be at least 10.
But he has only a 3-foot fence.
Right, 3-foot picket fence.
And so the ordinance requires a 6-foot fence. And he is fighting that issue because he doesn't feel he should have to replace his 3-foot fence. But he also never contacted the village before he did his project to ever see what, or go to the website even to see what the requirements were. So I do strongly advise that we adopt this ordinance. We're going to try to work with this gentleman as best as we can, but we certainly don't want to jeopardize safety. As I told him, I said, kids get curious. They can easily get over a 3-foot fence to go see the pretty fish in the pond or whatever else is going on over there.
And the other problem is too is that the other 2 requests that people wanted to put them in their front yards. And I said, there's no way to protect them. I mean, that's, to me, that's, it's like selling liquor at a gas station, 2 don't mix.
And they need a permit, right, Russ?
Oh, yes. There's going to be a permit that's included. It's on the last page of the ordinance. And then it's also going to be included the same $40 permit as a pool or a hot tub.
This guy sold fishing license for kids to catch the koi.
biggest problem is where he's located at. I think the raccoons and the muskrats and stuff are gonna feed on his koi before he has been there too long.
So, did we get a motion?
No.
I need a motion for approval.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Trustees Dernoski,
Aye.
Duberstein. Aye. Barrett.
Aye.
Daly.
Aye.
And Walkington.
Aye.
11-6-150.
Russ, can I just ask, would the fence be around the whole backyard, or does it?
He has his own, he could do either one, anybody could do either one. They could put it around the feature, or they could put it around the backyard. I think 90% of people can put it around the backyard, because there's no sense in splitting it off or something.
Right, because I
But
just.
that's their option. As long as the feature is fenced in somehow.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, item number 4. Hopefully everybody's aware, we recently did a community events 3-question survey. We utilized SurveyMonkey on the website. Fortunately, we were able to link it. We did a CTY call. I know some of the trustees and I sent emails to people encouraging them to participate. Also, it was also posted on the Hainesville Yahoo group website. That being said, we got a total of 77 responses on the computer, and then we received, so I want to state this, I forgot, is it 4 or 5? We got 4 handwritten ones that were taken at the Great H Club meeting. We respect the fact that not all seniors have invested or chose to get a computer, so they were given an opportunity, as was anyone if they contacted the village, to come in and fill it out by hand and leave it here. So, what you have before you is the first item is a bar chart. And of course, we asked the residents to rate and order the events that they would like the village to put on, and rate and order of preference on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the highest. And our choices were Traditional Hainesville Fest, Oktoberfest, Concert in the Park, Community Picnic, and Movies in the Park. Now, you have to remember that 1 is the one that is desired the most. So, if you notice, the first 3 bars are almost the same size, and in fact, they're about the exact size if you take the handwritten ones and include them into the stats. So we really have a tie between Traditional Hainesville Fest, Oktoberfest, and Concert in the Park. It's a 3-way tie, just about. And then 4th place went to Community Picnic. Last place was Movies in the Park.
So we do Hainesville Fest in October with a lot of extra gear.
There you go. There you go.
Well, you know, let's go through
But
some.
wait, Loco is not the highest Oak area music preference.
Let's go through all the results and then we'll indulge in discussion. But I think we can also say that, you know, Hainesville Fest can be many things. You know, you don't have to do away with Hainesville Fest, but the theme can change. You know, you can shake it up a little bit. If you go to the next page, we have a lovely pie chart. What type of music would you most like to hear in concert? Please check all that apply. So the biggest piece of the pie, 61.8%, is rock. The next category, 46.1%, is blues and jazz. Number 3, 44.7%, is country western. And
That
then,
should be split though. That should be country, so you can have country and western, or just country, or just western.
next survey.
No, that's fine for the Blues Brothers.
30.3 is classical. And then this was kind of surprising. The other category where we asked them to please specify is rather broad. It's 27.6%. That's big for an other category. And so if you go to the sheet behind it, the people that chose other, which was 21 of the respondents, they have to type in what they're saying. is their other category. So first we have oldies, cover band 80s, I like all of the above, old pop standards 30 through 50s, Jelly Bone, and that's the blues band that we had last year, dance, so I guess they want dance music, I'm not sure what that means, that's a kind of a broad category to me. Pop, another one for pop, no preference. Oldies, 60 to 70s cover band, 180s night, soul, R&B, all of the above, oldies, folk, two folks, but blues jazz would be my second choice on the one person that said folk. Don't really care. And I like this person. This is actually a person that does not like music because they put none.
Dead silent.
They want it quieter.
Only the crickets outside.
I really find interesting some of the times of day that people put things out. 4:35 a.m., 2:35 a.m., 3:12 a.m. Odd.
When you reach it, when the oldies are your favorite choice, you're up at those times for other things.
Yes. Good 60.
I'm not even going to ask what they are, so.
I don't know, I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning arguing with people halfway around the world. That's normal.
Okay, now let's go to the handwritten ones, because remember these are handwritten and I had no way to put them into the survey monkey. So just look at the music here. Polka oldies. First choice was Oktoberfest, so I think that's kind of obvious where this person felt. The next one's the same, Oktoberfest, polka. Now, I don't know if they meant to say polka band, or is there such thing as a poho band?
It's polka band.
Okay. And a beer hall. They requested a beer hall.
And a beer.
Beer hop. Beer hop.
Now, this is interesting because this one also put number one, Oktoberfest. But the music, they like oldies, polka, and country and western. I don't know how you work country and western in Oktoberfest, but I suppose you could.
It's Western Germany.
It's
Black Forest.
okay, and then the last one, though, their number one choice was community picnic and blues and jazz. So,
I thought they said no. No to number one, no to number two.
okay, and then your last large legal sheet, if you recall, people did have an option to put a comment. That's really number 3. Was it a mandatory question? It was really only those 2 questions, but you could put a comment if you chose to. And so we received 29 comments, but I think these are very enlightening. The community picnic should be the old-fashioned type with games and races for the whole family.
Linda,
No.
did you fill that one?
No, I did not. Hainesville Fest would be okay if we scaled it back to save money. I like this comment. I think everyone is doing a wonderful job. That's always nice to hear. This one was interesting. I think the first question is worded wrong. It makes you choose between events as to priority when you may want more than one and like them all equally, or like some but not the others at all. Some events are done much better elsewhere, so let's not try to outdo some other town or city with a similar event like Concert in the Park or even Oktoberfest, which I like. We should be uniquely Hainesville. Our traditional Hainesville Fest has been very popular, so I would make few changes except in the area of music and food. The food should be more reasonably priced, and there should be music to appeal to all tastes with a wider range in age. So they have a lot of interesting comments. The only thing is, yes, you're right, the survey does make you choose between events as to priority, because that's the only way we can plan events. You only have so much money to spend, and or maybe you're going to have to try to also run some events that don't require a lot of funding and or seek sponsorship. So it does make choices, make some choices for that reason. I have yet to attend an event, but might soon as my children are getting older, 8, 5, and 1.